Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another workshop. We're back online and we're building off of the amazing in-person workshop from a few weeks ago in Manchester. It was wonderful to see you both, Yvonne and Samuel, in person and to share that time together. It was a really amazing day. It was great, and we'll be building off of that today in this workshop, where please just keep yourself on mute. But if you've got any questions at all, use the Zoom chat. Hormoz and Safe here today to get involved and to be able to answer any questions you might have. And if you fall off, join with exactly the same link as you know by now, because we're already now at workshop number 8. And today we're going to be looking at preparing a presentation script and a slide deck. So we'll be looking at actually how do you make a presentation script and a deck for a specific presentation. So we'll be building off of the in-person workshop a few weeks ago and starting to work in some tools that we've made, online tools that we've made for you specifically for this. So first of all, we're going to have a quick look at what makes a good pitch, and then we're going to look at this pitch script tool, which we have made for you that you can use however you like, but it just helps to sort of tailor the pitch to your audience so that they can really follow your story, really follow what your social enterprise is doing. And then we're going to break out. Probably you might have 3 people working with you today, Samuel, if Yvonne isn't feeling too well. But we're going to break out and start working on this pitch script. We'll have a little break, and then we'll come back and we'll look at the pitch deck tool. And we'll understand exactly how a pitch script and a pitch deck work together. And then we'll also start working on a pitch deck, and we'll have a little look at what is coming up after today's workshop. So why do you actually pitch? We looked a little bit about sort of, the confidence of pitching in the in-person a few weeks ago when we started practicing, but why do you actually pitch? Well, it's important to actually tell the story about your business and about what you're doing and your organization is doing, but also to spark interest with people, right? That might even sometimes lead to more time with someone important. And I say that because a pitch is not always just a big formal thing where you have a presentation and you have 10 minutes. Sometimes it can just be a very quick conversation with somebody, and you want to get that across to them in a very short amount of time. It's a way to show and tell what you're working on and why it's so brilliant, why it's worthwhile, right? It's a really great way to show people what you're doing. It's a way you can apply or ask for partnerships, also for finance. A lot of times when people are giving finance, they might ask you to pitch for it or to present about your organization. It's a way, if you're selling products or services, you can sell your product, your service, or if you are your own service as well in terms of what you might run as an organization, you need to put yourself out there to be able to show why you're better than other organizations or other people in this space. Great way to network, tell people very clearly and distinctly what it is that you're doing. And also, it's a very good way to launch your organization with a formal pitch where you can show people, tell people what you are doing. So we look at this kind of show and tell aspect of a pitch, of a presentation. And we use a script, which is for yourself. So the script is for you. It's a way to follow what you want to say to people. So I have a script in front of me right now. But then what you see, what the public see, is the deck. Okay, that's the public side. So you're seeing my screen here where it says show and tell, but I have a script behind that so I know what to say, right? And your deck is what your organization, what the public sees. This is all put together to make your audience, whoever that might be, you can see it, you can understand it, they can also feel it. You want people to be able to relate to what you're doing, to relate to your story, to relate to your organization, so that they can get involved with your organization. We'll use the pitch script today to start writing down what it is you want to tell people, and we'll also start looking at the pitch deck to start thinking about what you want people to see. when you are presenting your pitch. My biggest piece of advice to you is keep it simple. Okay. Hormoz was talking about the lovely I can't remember the name of it. Hormoz, you might remember the graph with people's attention spans.
Hammock.
The hammock. Was that right?
Yeah, hammock. Yeah.
The hammock, right?
It looks like a hammock.
Exactly. It looks like a hammock, right? As to when you have people's attention, and when people are most engaged with you. But if you keep it simple, right, and if you can get your ideas across, you get your organization across in a very clear, simple way, people are much more likely to stay engaged with you, to follow your story, to follow your pitch, and they're much more likely to engage because they've been listening throughout with your ask. And this is a huge part of any pitch, is having an ask. And an ask is what you want your audience to engage with. So how do you want your audience to engage with your organization? So do you want your audience to give you feedback on your pitch, for example, right? That is an ask. That is one way of getting your audience to give you feedback. Or do you want your audience to partner with you or to recommend potential partners that you should contact? Do you want your audience to recommend funding opportunities? Do you want your audience to volunteer with your organization? Do you want your audience to follow you on social media? Do you want your audience to sign up to your mailing list if you're not quite ready to launch yet? You might be doing a crowdfunder. Do you want your audience to support your crowdfunder, get people to get engaged? The point of all of this is you need to have a very clear ask so that if your audience is watching your presentation, they know what you want from them at the end. They know how to engage with you beyond the presentation. And your ask will change depending who's in the audience. So it's really important that you know who your audience is, right? So you need to prepare your pitch, your presentation in a public setting, and you need to prepare it in a way so you know who it is that is in the room, and you might alter your presentation depending who you're pitching to. So you could be pitching to volunteers, potential volunteers in the room. It could be potential donors, potential funders, be potential partners. So you've got to think about who might listen or who might be listening to your pitch, and alter and change your presentation, your pitch ever so slightly, okay, depending on that. So I'll give you an example. If I'm pitching about Turn to a group of university students at SOAS, for instance, I might know that university students might not want to give my organization £10,000 because they might not have that money. However, they might be willing to give their time and they might be really interested in volunteering. So perhaps I'll alter my pitch slightly to my ask is not, I need X amount of money to achieve X. It's more, I need 5 volunteers to be able to deliver this project. So I change my ask so that I still get something from my audience with engagement. Okay, so think about who's in the room when you're presenting, think about what your ask is and change it depending on that. And you will have an opportunity to present, to pitch in the Ideas into Action program at the demo day on Thursday, the 22nd of June. So we will release more information about this, but you will have this opportunity to present and you will be pitching your organization to the public. So you can ask the public to engage directly with your organization. And at that demo day, we're not 100% sure on the audience yet, but there will be potential volunteers there. There'll be potential partners there. There'll be people who might support your crowdfunder if you choose to do a crowdfunding campaign. And there might be potential donors there as well. So you can start thinking about who's in the audience, start looking at organizations that sign up as well. We'll share the list with you ahead of time, so you can actually alter slightly your ask and audience engagement. But the most important thing is that you present and then you get people to engage beyond the presentation. So that's why we pitch. That's why we pitch, and that's why we pitch within the Ideas into Action program. Now, we have made a nice little tool for you, which will help you to make a stakeholder pitch, where it will be between 7 to 8 minutes and about 11 slides and between 500 and 600 words. Now, don't get bogged down in this aspect, okay? These are all estimates. It's yours. Some people like bullet points. Some people like writing scripts, exactly. But what this will do is it will help you to really navigate your pitch and to take the audience on a journey so they stay engaged and they know how to engage beyond. So in your folders, we have made a pitch script tool for you, and I have just screenshotted some aspects of that pitch script tool. So to start with, there's an introduction. And this is where you introduce yourself, you say who you are, you talk about yourself, you talk briefly about the organization in 1 to 2 sentences, but you make everyone feel quite welcome into the room, right? So we'll think about the hammock again. And we started last week. Some people, Sam did the amazing close your eyes, when everyone's close the eyes, right? So you're drawing people into the presentation. And then talking about your story, okay? So then you want to tell the audience your own background, your professional background, why the organization was born, whatever that means to you in terms of your story that you want to present on the day of the pitch and what's relevant for the pitch and for the audience. We then move into the body. And this is like what is also referred to sometimes as the meat and potatoes, okay? It's the main bit of the pitch where you're talking about your organization, and also the story of the organization. So what's your mission and your values, right? What does your organization do? Yeah, so what is it and why do you do it? Who is it your organization is serving? Who are your beneficiaries? Why do you care about them? Why are you trying to help them? What are the problems they have? Also, the problems your organization solves. So how does your organization solve the problems of the people you really care about? And what's your big solution? Why are you different, right? What's your unique selling point, okay? So think about yourself within the sector. How are you different? Difference is great, right? Being different to other organizations, standing apart is really great. And it's what makes you unique, and it's what makes you, your organization really special. So actually showcase that as well. And what's your big vision? This is so important. People want to see visionaries. So where is it that you're going as an organization? Where do you want to go? What do you want to achieve? And what's your actual evidence? What have you already done, maybe? What's some feedback that you've got, right? To show that what you're trying to do, what you are doing is needed, right? Where's the data? And finally, we move on to the ask, which is the audience engagement bit. Now, I've put a few different things in here, which you can choose depending on which is most relevant. And you might not know this until closer to the time, and that's okay. So is it partnerships? What partnerships might you already have, right? Or do you also want to say you're looking for other partnerships to grow? Is it a crowdfunder? If you're doing a crowdfunding campaign, June 22nd is an amazing time to launch your crowdfunder, because you're going to have that public showcase, that public event where you'll have people there supporting you on your side, and you can ask them to directly get involved with your crowdfunder. Oh, sorry. What might be your funding ask more broadly? Maybe you're looking for grants. Maybe you're looking for a certain amount of funding. You can show people how much does it cost to run what you're trying to do. How much does it cost to run a project? And also, how can people get involved? Now, I think this should maybe always be in there. How can you get involved? Because you could also just not even have, you can ask volunteers directly. But you might also be able to ask people to follow you on social media, give you a share on your content, spread the good word about what you're doing. Okay. Now, I want Safe to come in here and explain what I just said in a much more articulate way of the actual story and journey. Safe, as you did the other day, because it was beautiful. If you could just explain in the same sort of way as you did the other day.
So Sam and Yvonne, as you were listening to Lucas, we started with introducing yourselves. So to begin with, when we are at that place, we're there to introduce ourselves first, then we move to talking about our mission, values, then we move into talking about our target audience. What was the one after it, Sam, if you remember?
Our target audience and their problem.
The problem, yeah, so the problem and the need.
Yeah.
And what was the one after?
I guess the solution.
Yes, so there's the offer. So kind of now there's the we know the target audience, we know the problem and the need. We're offering the solution, and afterwards we follow it by the vision. We talk about the vision of the project.
Yeah,
and then vision. We end. What do we end with?
I'll ask.
The ask
of whatever format. Yeah.
Can you see? And this is a question for you, Yvonne. If you're able to contribute, you're more than welcome. But I respect that you may not be able to speak. But if you feel like it, please do. Can you see that there is a journey of some sort?
Yeah.
What is your perception to that journey? That we've taken the audience on a particular journey.
I think it's really much like a story. In the same way, you know, when we encounter a problem, that's why your why sort of comes first. Or I think that's the second slide. I think I've jumbled the order in my head a little bit, but the why is very important. It personalizes things, and often, at least in this context, it sometimes deals with a problem you might personally have. So you might simultaneously be the beneficiary who you highlight later, or you might have moved away from that group in my situation, and you know, like you self highlight who you're targeting to some degree. Then I guess the need or the elaborating the problem then comes after, because of, you know, it shows like a larger understanding beyond an emotional connection to the issue. Sorry, I don't know if I'm frozen or not. Like Lucas looks.
No, you're very close. You're very close. Yvonne, are you able to contribute? And if you can't, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Can you see that there is a journey being weaved into that presentation?
Yeah, I can see. There's one thing I was sorry. So you have the mission. Is it the mission of the organization, then the values of the organization, then your target audience, and then the vision of the project, which I'm wondering if that is not also a part of the mission and the values already, or if that's kind of separate, or that wouldn't be embedded in your mission and your values, because I can't see the vision of your project not be in alignment with your missions and values. So that was what I was just wondering.
Amazing. Thank you, Yvonne. I really appreciate your contribution, as well as yours, Sam. So now we have two things that we created in this space. There are two things that we presented in this space. So there's the script, which is the content. So we're providing content, but it's all weaved into a journey of building a relationship with the audience. So there's a relational journey that's been weaving all that content. So to begin with, you're starting with introducing yourself. And by introducing yourself, we're talking about your name, your story here, kind of like, what inspired you to create this project. So I'm immediately connecting with the person who's presenting, because people are interested in people to begin with. And when you're talking about your story, here you're also communicating authority. You're someone who lived that experience, someone who knows that problem, someone who experienced the challenge and understands the solution, because you've got that credibility with you because you've lived that experience. So I'm immediately hooked in. I'm building a relationship of trust with you. Whatever you're going to talk about, I know that's coming from a place of lived experience. So the lived experience in the story is essential here because we're building a relationship around trust. It's like I'm here, someone with credibility, and I know what I'm talking about. So that's number one. Then we move, so like from the personal into the professional, we move into the mission and the values. And here, if you remember from our workshop with Homos and Jane, people come to the room with so much going around in the background. Personal challenges, work-related challenges, lots of things that they're filing up in their brains. What we need at this point is just to narrow down their focus. So now we build the relationship. Now we need to narrow their focus. Also, they have listened to other projects as well done.
Saif, you might have frozen. Has he frozen for anyone else?
Yes, he's frozen for me, but I could hear him, and now I can't hear him either.
Saif, are you still there?
Was that me?
Oh, you're back. You're back. Okay, we heard. We got up to there are other people presenting as well.
Yes. So there are other people who have presented before you as well. So people's attention span is quite limited. So we need to really focus their brain. Now you're with me. Okay, let's draw a line. Let's draw a clear line between the previous projects. Let's draw a line around this particular moment and leave everything else behind. So like the mission here needs to be succinct and clear. So here basically we're building a relationship of trust professionally. It's around your clarity. So here you need to bring your own clarity. And also you need to focus their brain by kind of like, this is what I do. And they're immediately with you. Then you move to your target audience. And here kind of we're building more on the trust around clarity and your understanding of the project. Everyone is not your target audience. If you speak to everyone, you speak to no one. So we need to be really focused here on who our target audience is. And now we're kind of bringing them to the place of empathy. So we need to engage their hearts here when we talk about their challenges. So now we if you think about the centers that we're communicating with, we're talking to their brains, we're talking to their hearts. So at the beginning, we were talking to their brains. We talked about the mission, the values, and in the values, there's something inspirational. That's where people start relating. Also, you believe, so you stand for justice, you stand for equality, and all these amazing things that you stand for. And I'm immediately on your side because I may resonate. And if I don't resonate, I definitely respect. So we move to the target audience and talking about their challenges and needs. And here we're building empathy. We're creating a field of empathy when they understand what those people are struggling with, what the reality that they face, what are the challenges that they face, what are their needs. Now they are in their shoes. You kind of like taking them into that journey where they put themselves in their shoes and they start on a certain level feel for their challenges too. So there's empathy generation here, and also deepening of the understanding of the situation. And this is where your why is. Okay, when we talk about the problems and the needs, that's where your why exists. This is why I'm doing the work. You know? So now you're generating thirst for the solution. As you talk about the challenges and the needs, kind of like, all right, so what is the solution? You come with the solution now. And when you come with your own unique solution, once again, we're building on the trust that you are the right person to deliver this work, because you have the understanding, you have the clarity, you have the passion for the project, and also you have the strategy. You have an understanding how practically can we turn this problem into a solution? How can we meet it with solution? So, and once you've talked about the solution, that's when they engage on a wider level, kind of, right, I'm really inspired by the project. How can I support? Here you bring the wider inspirational dimension of the pitch when you talk about the vision. Here we're talking about the wider impact. There's something about the vision. It's almost like multiplies your impact. Like what world are you dreaming of creating? You know, in your vision, what world are you dreaming of creating? And here you're engaging their wider senses, kind of like, I would like to be part of that mission. Like, that vision is amazing, and I would like to be part of creating it. I would like to be part of that ship that you're leading. And when you talk about the vision, you have giving them the understanding. First, you have built the personal relationship with them. So there's that rapport building, there's that bridging. You have helped them understand, you have helped them feel, and you're ending with inspiration. So there's a wider sense of engagement. And only after that, you come in with the ask. Because that whole journey is just to create a platform where they're engaged on the different senses with you. And then you come in with the ask. So that's my summarization of the pitch.
Thanks, Saif. I really like the way you sort of, you know, and thank you for adding there, as well as I think the way you actually just talk about actually being on as almost as an audience member in terms of what you're going through and how people are going to engage with that and how much more. Just by, you know, you bring them on your side. They're on your side anyway when they come in the room, but they're also, you know, you'll bring them on your side even more. So we're going to go and do that now. We're going to break out. We're going to actually just go and work. We have made a pitch script tool for you that you can use, that you can follow. So we're going to break out. I'm going to start looking at the next part of this, which is where we align the pitch script that you've been working on already, right? The pitch script that is the behind the curtain kind of stuff, the thing that is for you, and your deck, which is what people see. Okay, so the deck, a slide deck, a presentation deck, there's many different terms for it, but this is what the audience see. This is where you put your pictures, this is where you put your accompanying material, the visual materials, to show your organization, to strengthen your story and strengthen your pitch. Okay, it's also a great place to put your brands, to showcase what you're doing as well. So there's loads of free pictures out there, and Saif's going to post some links in the chat now where you can get free stock photography that you can use free of charge without copyright, and you can use for your presentation to give it a little bit more spruce, if you will, but also just to give it the visual material that you want people to see. So if I were talking about football in the community, maybe I'd use one of these photos here as I'm talking about the footballing project that I want to run. Okay, so you can use it to illustrate what it is that you are doing. Don't just put pictures in for the sake of putting pictures in. Put them in so they actually also make a little bit of sense as to what you are narrating and talking at that time. It's also a great way to showcase your brand, and it's a place where you should really use your brand colors and your logo as well, so you stay on brand, so people know who you are, but they also see who you are. And they feel, because a brand has more than just a logo. It's about a feeling of an organization. That's what, you know, a lot of the brands is about, that feeling. It is about creating that feeling that you want from your organization. So showcase it in a presentation. Change your colors of the background, change the colors of the fonts. Obviously, you don't want things to clash, which is why you use from the brand pack that the designers make. But showcase it in the pitch deck. It's a great place to actually do that and to show what it is that you're doing. And what makes a great pitch deck? A very logical sequence of slides, right? And one that goes with your script. I know this sounds simple, but imagine I'm talking about a logical sequence of slides, and make sure that the sequence follows the pitch deck. When you're seeing this on my screen is all about branding, you're going to get confused. Okay, so it might seem simple, but honestly, keep the slides that logically go in the right order, but also follow your pitch script. And you'll see alongside the pitch script has the corresponding slide as well. Keep it simple, clear, very minimalist, okay? You don't want to put too much on a slide in terms of reading, right? So keep it really simple, break points up if you have to, but illustrate it with photography, illustrate the key points of the message, right? So if we say here, for instance, we help young graphic designers take the next step. The next step is where they can launch their careers going forward. So for example, there, I can use the next step as my point to illustrate and to talk about the next steps and what we do as an organization. I don't need to put everything on that slide, okay? I can just use that as an illustration to talk about what the next step actually is. Use expressive photos, expressive illustrations, use real photos from your organization, you know, communicate the message of the slide. Don't just put things in for the sake of putting them in. Put them in because they really are strong, they are powerful, they're expressive, they evoke emotion, they're real, you know, use real things as well, okay? So make sure you're expressive with what you're getting across. And have a very clear call to action. Use QR codes. Everyone's got a mobile, well, not everyone, but vast majority of people have a mobile these days, which can scan a QR code, okay? Use QR codes that link to forms, use QR codes that link to crowdfunders, right? So that people can have a very clear way of engaging with you afterwards. If it's not a QR code, maybe have your social media handle so people can find it. Ask people to go there straight away and click follow, right? Engage with the audience, have something on the screen that you can then directly say to the audience, scan this, get your phones out, scan this, or get on social media right now and follow me at whatever your social media handle is, okay? So have that very clear call to action. Now, I know that making a slide deck from scratch is difficult, and sometimes you're a bit like, where do I start? And I know this because I have to make quite a few at term in the Ideas into Action program. And it is hard. And I use templates, and I replicate templates, and I change the messages, and I change the colors. Okay, that's what I do, because you don't need to build everything from scratch. We have made for you a slide deck template, which you don't have to use. Some people like making their own presentations, absolutely fine. But if you want to use it, you're so welcome to use it, and it's really easy to use. So we've made a slide deck template, which I can show you here. So this is the template. And you just follow it through, and it has prompts that you can change. As I'll just double check, you're all seeing my my slide, the screen change to like now I'm demoing, right? Yeah, great. So it has prompts here, like our beneficiaries, where you can change the text, okay? You can move things around, but also what you can do is you can upload by clicking on these and following the instructions. So the logo, for instance, if I right click here, I can replace this image and I can upload it from my computer. And I am going to have my logo is this. And then I want a new picture. And so I right click here and I can change that and upload it again from my computer because I've downloaded all of this that I'm about to put in is downloaded from the internet. This is all stock photography that I downloaded actually for someone's brand booster the other day. So there you go. So I downloaded it with someone the other day, but this is all free and you can all use it, okay? So these are very simple to use, and suddenly we've got the makings of a pitch deck. If I wanted to change the backgrounds, I would right click here. No, I wouldn't. I'd click here, sorry, and I'd change the color of my backgrounds, right, to whatever it is. So if I wanted it to be this color, I could do that and then suddenly I've changed the color of my background. Now that pitch deck is looking pretty different to this. It's starting to take some shape. It's starting to look a little bit more different. So here, if I was changing this, I could put a picture up, which Rob took of me and has appeared on some socials, which you may have noticed recently. Different shirt, same company. And I can very nicely put Lucas Farthing, if I can spell my name right, founder of Football Rocks. Football. I'm making this up as we go, guys. For all, okay? We go. So, right, so that's my organization. Obviously, I'm going off the page here, so maybe I want to be a little bit like that. And want to maybe put my football logo up here. Should have really thought about this ahead of time because this is not really a football logo, but you get the point. Is that now we're suddenly looking at this, and I've got the makings of a presentation here pretty quickly because you can just follow that. And I really like that background color I was using quite a lot. So I'm going to use that again. And here we go. Right. So I'm starting to have that. So if I was to present this now, you'll also see some very exciting animations that come through where they pop up like that for you. You can get rid of these if you don't want them, but they're there. But it can help you. So I can be like, hello, good afternoon. My name is Lucas Farthing, founder of Football Rocks. Football for All, a charity that combines music and football. Okay, I'm ad-libbing here right now, but you get the point. Is that this will follow your pitch script, okay? And it's very easy as a template to edit. It's in your Google Drive. Safe, I think, has shared the link already, and that is a starting block if you want a starting block for a presentation. If you go down here, what we've put on here as well, so we have, this follows the script. So you'll see we've got introduction, organization, where you can put your mission, vision, values as well, your beneficiaries, the problems, what are your solutions and your USPs, what's your big vision. So this is where you put your big vision in there, your progress you've made, your evidence as well as to why you're doing it, partnerships. But I've also put here, you've got crowdfunders, visit the crowdfunder, funding asks, volunteer with us. You can move things because I put like this appendix where you can move things below so that maybe you don't want to put your fundraising ask there. You just move it down. So that's still your last slide, okay? But you can choose what it is and how you want to end this presentation. And you can make copies of this. So the main bulk might stay the same, but the ending might change. And that is up to you as to how you change it, okay? So you can make multiple versions of the same presentation. Are there any questions at all there? No? Okay, so we're going to break out for 20 minutes. Back one-to-one, Safe, Sam. We're going to go 20 minutes and we're going to start working in that pitch deck. And Sam, I want you to upload a photo of yourself on that first slides, okay? There might be some amazing ones actually that from Rob that you could use as well when they get shared. We obviously have quite a bit of time to build this slide deck. You don't need it for next week, so we have time. But put a photo of yourself, your name, and start filling out little bits in there. And if you can, maybe go on Unsplash and find a few different pictures that you want to use and you can upload already. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Fantastic. Okay, great. Right. So I'll see you guys at 11 and then I'm going to take 5 minutes extra if that's okay. So we get to 11:05. Is that all right? Sorry about that. Yeah, brilliant. Thank you. Cool. So I just want to explain the final little bit of the Ideas into Action program. We obviously have a little while left still. However, it kind of morphs into a new phase after April. So in the next 6 weeks, up until the beginning of April, the end of March. Then there's Easter and there's Eid. I know that myself and Saif are both away as well. But leading up to that point, we really want to make the most of the Spark support available. Okay. And I'm flagging this because up to the next 6 weeks, you can still get a lot of support with your brand. Okay. But we need to submit it in the next 6 weeks. If you want a brand from the Ideas into Action program, please contact me. Let's get this. We can get it done. We can submit it. A lot of the guys in the program are getting this through already, but we need to submit this in the next 6 weeks to the graphic designers. We can work on financial planning for your organization, for your project, and the business plan as well, and get the business plan over the line. We can start developing your digital marketing presence online, so social media, website support as well. We can help you with this sort of technical setup. We can help you get volunteers involved, hiring volunteers. Where do you hire volunteers? Writing volunteer role descriptions. The website support as well, as I mentioned. Grant writing and grant finding support. There's a grant ending at the end of March, which is the unlimited grant, which you might want to have a look at. And we can help with registration, compliance, legal matters that you still may need to do for your organization. We can help with this whole legal side of things as well, and getting you registered. And there's also a very exciting networks and connections workshop and follow up with Social Enterprise UK on the 8th of March. I shall send you a message and email about that next week. But this is sort of, please make the most of this support that's available in the next 6 weeks, because the support then shifts after April. So Saif and myself are away in April. In terms of Spark support, the workshops become less and less. So we only have a few workshops left in the program, and the shift really comes towards pitching and the final event and crowdfunders if you are doing a crowdfunder. So April onwards, we're going to be bringing Bertie in. You'll all meet Bertie if you're crowdfunding. He'll do one-to-one crowdfunding support. And Saif and myself will be available, but only 1 day a week on Spark support to help with crowdfunding. So it's going to be significantly less, but we'll be around to help with crowdfunding support alongside Bertie, but also helping with grant finding and grant writing support, and also this pitch script and pitch deck. And the whole reason why is because we want to get you set up for success so that April onwards, we can really focus on leading towards your public showcase, the demo day on the 22nd of June, and launching your social enterprise, your organization, your non-profits, launching this to the world. So please make the most of the next 6 weeks. We have one more workshop in 6 weeks, so there's a lot of time to be working on your organization. There's a lot of time for Saif and I to be helping you with this as well. So please keep booking 1 hour Spark sessions. It is going to change slightly from April. We're not going to be as available. We will still have time. And so our focus is going to be more on trying to help you find funding. So really, really, please make the most of the next kind of 6 weeks up until April, so that we can be in a great position as we go towards the final 6 weeks of the program, where we're setting you up for finding funding and pitching to the public in our demo day event. Other than that, that is it. You know the offerings are there. You know Saif and I are around. Continue with the great work that you're doing. And if you could spare 30 seconds to leave some feedback about what we're doing well, what we're not doing so well, what we could do better, we would really greatly appreciate it. So please, please, please do leave some feedback. And it was a shorter workshop today, but a lovely workshop. And it's hopefully put you in a good place to go forwards. We'll still be around, obviously. We're still here to work with you, but just want to stress that we're here and work with us. We're here 1 hour a week. It's a lot of time. Please do use it, is what I'm saying. There's only, but it's up to you at the end of the day. So that's it from me. Have a lovely rest of your Thursday and a wonderful weekend.